You hopefully now understand that your populism and your faith in free markets led to this crisis. Hope the negativity from the citizens about you has set you right. Now listen to me. For creating Magneto effect in the economy, one of your main roles is to print a lot of money and increase money supply in the economic system. You have to channelize this money into the financial intermediary by buying troubled assets, that is, mortgage-backed securities at reasonable prices, and by equity infusion in the troubled banks. What happened to your great moderation philosophy? You realize now that your myopic theorems have difficult downstream connotations. Time has come for you to become lender of last resort of the financial system. Now do as I say. Supply money to all the troubled entities of financial intermediaries and save them from dying. Because if a few of them died, all of them will be in trouble. If that happens, the overall financial system will stop working, and in a small time, the economy will enter into big recession. You also have to channelize this money into the economy directly by lending to big firms that are in trouble and can affect employment positively. Also ensure that retail consumers and small and medium enterprise have easy access to money through financial intermediary. This would help in regaining the consumption and investment metrics that has dwindled in the recent past. You folks, you are the heart of any economy. Why have you stopped trusting each other? And why are you so fearful in lending and investing activities? See, if you want to be out of this crisis, you have to religiously follow my instructions, and you should see the light of the day. The moment you receive money from government and central bank in form of bailout, equity infusion, succor, loan, first use it to revamp balance sheets of most troubled entities, which have very high exposure to mortgage-backed securities. Please work in cooperation and let go of individual interest for the time being. After that, you have to ensure that there is enough liquidity inside the system, and there is a trust as it was earlier between all the entities for investing and lending activities. You have to also ensure that both firms and households have easy access to money for consumption and investment respectively. It will not be so easy to push aggregate demand by just printing the money and using it for bailing out the troubled banks and by distributing it to firms and households directly. This is because in economic slump, household and firms have tendency to hoard cash. Even if they have money, they will not consume and invest respectively. So, one entity has to do major spending to create multiplier effect, and that entity has to be the government. So, invest heavily in public infrastructure projects like roads, ports, highways, hospital construction. Also, reduce tax rates for both corporate and individuals. Once you increase spending heavily in public projects, household will gradually gain confidence. This would slowly re-initiate the cycle of spending in goods and services, initiating consumption. This, along with soaps to firms, would trigger investment cycle too. This in turn would ease aggregate demand over time. The moment the government, central bank and the financial intermediaries work as instructed, the firms and households would gradually move out of pessimism spiral towards their normal confident state of mind. You need to take measures to sustain the generation of self-interest of consumers and firms, and see that the market equilibrium is restored gradually. And you, my dearest, you better stop innovating and creating weapons of mass destruction and focus on simpler ways of facilitating between borrowers and savers. Now both of you are dead as a single philosophy to run this jungle. You were dead long time back, and you are dead because of current fiasco. Better leave your egos, identify flaws in your philosophies and merge yourself to avoid destruction of this scale, and to create much evolved conscious to manage economy. What happened to your long-term plan of self-correcting mechanism of economy? Shall we allow this destruction to go on and destroy everything in jungle? Hope you understand now the meaning of, in long run we all are dead. Once you all do what I have told you, we will get the Magneto effect. Consumption and investment from firms and households will pick up, and aggregate demand will gradually reach towards near to equilibrium situation, as a result of which deflation and unemployment devil will be killed, and jungle will achieve its peace and happiness again. The massive support that you will be giving to the economy through fiscal monetary stimulus might raise questions about debt sustainability, which has implications for financial stability going forward. It is therefore important that once good time comes, ask central banker to reduce money supply, reduce public spending and increase tax rates to create fiscal buffers to provide the necessary economic space for counter-cyclical economic measures in bad times, and also to avoid speculation of one more bubble, as markets have lost confidence in mortgage-backed security. Their prices have dropped sharply, but in future, the value of these assets are likely to be higher than their current price, because majority of people will pay off their mortgages. And if that happens, ensure money will flow back to your treasury by selling these assets. In this way, you can expect the taxpayer money you invested today will be paid back in future. Another pearl of wisdom: if you really want to reach close to your destination, that is, social good for all, evolve a mongrel system which is combination of both Mr. Capitalist and Mr. Communist.